All right, Buffs Nation, I am back with an impromptu film session. Had a quick minute break from work. I thought, you know what? I'll get on here. We'll talk a little bit of USC. Again, to preface this week, this is a huge week for the Buffs. Not only because we have the opportunity to go 1-1 in conference, get to 4-1, where we hit all of our overs on the win total bets that Vegas was terribly wrong at. This is the opportunity for our Colorado Buffaloes to do something that no other Buffs team has done before in the history of our existence, and that is beat USC. We got to get to 1-16, baby. And we're going to do it this week. And I thought that I would go ahead and, again, we're going to have another keyboard coach session. Yes. So if you're like me and, still learning the ins and outs of football, this is a safe space. This is a place for us to have fun. And I picked out a few plays just to show us, how utilizing motion, because we brought that up and we've had people a lot smarter than me bring this up about utilizing some more motion within this offense could help. Hey, we got a USC fan in the house. What's good? This is awesome. How some of this motion might give us the opportunity to pull off the unthinkable and get our first ever victory against USC. That's all I want. I just want to get to 1-16, baby. That's got to happen. And hey, if Sean Lewis, if we're able to implement some of these things, I think it's going to give us a solid chance to do that. Of course, we have to stop the number one scoring offense in college football right now. So, big, big task ahead of us. But hey, it's every given Sunday, every given Saturday, right? So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this, and I will be sharing my screen, so I can't read any of the comments. But BTGG TV, you're right. These two back sets, we talked about that last week. I was hoping we'd see that against Oregon. Nope. But hey, I'm just the keyboard coach. But man, hopefully we can see some more creativity out of the offense this week, because we got absolutely none of that last week. So I'm going to share my screen and then I'll get to the comments later. We'll see how long I go with this. But I'll be back doing more, throughout the week. And of course, my friend John Kay, he's going to join us to talk over, some different ways in which maybe we can stop USC in some ways. But man, it's going to be a showdown, that's for sure. And Caleb Williams, I just got to start this, as I'm sharing the screen. Caleb Williams, this could be his first trip out here to where he's getting the first look at where he's going to spend the next 15 years of his NFL career, hopefully here in Denver, Colorado, because man, my Broncos, we are really tanking. That is for sure. So, with that being said, let's get to it. So I thought I would take some of the Tulane film. I don't have any all 22 film from this year, sadly. So some of this stuff, again, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because USC did bring in some impactful transfers on the defense. But as we know, Alex Grinch is still there for some reason. So still running the same scheme. Okay. So on this first play here, I got to remember why I picked this play. So again, we're going to see this a lot, Buffs fans. And for the one Trojans fan in here, again, really appreciate you coming in. But you're probably familiar with this defensive front already. This is what we're going to see. It's going to be like a 4-2, and then you got your 5. So you got like your 2 down linemen right here. They got like these edge guys that kind of function as the other 2 guys on the line. You got your 2 linebackers right here, and then you got your 5 defensive backs. You got the 4 kind of covering this, this umbrella right here, and then your star position, kind of the, our Miles Slusher or Cameron Silman Craig, the guy that kind of plays nickel, hybrid linebacker, safety, kind of does all sorts of different things. So we're going to see this look a lot with USC as opposed to kind of the 3-3-5 that we've seen a lot within the matchups that we've had so far. But again, motioning the back out from the pistol into the shotgun. And see right here, they're kind of running this this little read option play with a swinging tight end right here. And he's looking at this defensive end right here to see if he bites or what he's going to do. Hands it off. And again, this shows great vision right here. Or doesn't hand it off, duh, because he's able to get the tackle or the tight end right here, and he's able to run it upfield. So again, we got to be very careful when it comes to running RPO with Shador. This is why I picked this play, because even if we're running this, say 3 or 4 times a game, it's going to help keep the defense honest. And with an offensive line that is struggling to establish the run, you know, putting the ball in Shador's hands a few times should help kind of keep the defense on their heels a little bit to open up some more running lanes. And again, Tulane's offensive line, you know, it's not any bigger than what we have right now. I think that outside of their left guard, who is 345 pounds, he is an absolute menace. We got enough size on our offensive line to establish a run game, I think, against USC. They're not as fast as Oregon was. You know, they gave us a handful, but there has to be, again, a desire to implement a run game. We didn't show any of that last week. Like, we even cared. So I would love to see our team kind of coming out and doing some stuff to establish some presence and some physicality in the run game. Here's a better look at it. So he's keeping an eye on 45 or 49. The swinging tight end left to take care of him for 18. And, you know, he just has to make 53 miss. He almost does. But, I mean, that's a solid 7-8 yard gain right there. And then we can get into the next play here. That I picked out like 8 plays. So I'm trying to remind myself of why I picked them. Again, you'll see what USC does here. And maybe our friendly Trojans fan can help us understand, you know, what's up with this. But you'll see this even this year. The USC defense, they will be in a certain front, and then like right before the snap happens or with motion, they will kind of flip out into another sort of set or positioning. It doesn't happen too drastically here with the motion, but again, their defensive front changes quite a bit based on this motion. And I think some of this is credit to Tulane's coaching staff, because based on how often, and I'm guessing like with their film study or whatever, they identified certain things that, hey, if we can get them to switch into these certain fronts, we can attack them in certain ways. And here you see how they rush 3 and then they drop 8 back. And with only dropping 3 or rushing 3, Michael Pratt has plenty of time to then identify what's going on here. You wish that he could have gotten this throw off a little bit sooner. He's kind of reading what's going on here with the defense and identifies, hey, this crosser over here is open. It comes a tad late. You see he's getting hit right here, and wide receiver drops it. But if he's able to just identify that, if Shador is running a concept similar to that, is able to identify the open man just a little bit quicker, you know, that could be a first down play for us. But let's get into some of more of the creative plays that I picked out. Let's see here. I had 13:30 on here. We'll see what this is. And I haven't been through the full game yet. So we'll have to, I will definitely come back to this. Okay, we got 1st and 10. Here's the start of the 3rd quarter. And we're running 11 personnel. and bringing the slot guy here in motion. And you see USC's defense is kind of already they're moving as they're snapping the ball. That's a way in which that we could possibly get them out of position. And again, like when you're running motion and the defense is having to adjust and reposition, you're making these guys think. And I think like we've kind of left a lot of money on the table, over the last few weeks with not running a ton of motion. So the defense has kind of just been able to line up and do their thing. But we saw, when we're running up tempo or we're running some more motion, that can allow the defense to kind of get uncomfortable because they're thinking a little bit more rather than reacting. And then mistakes are made. I mean, just like we saw with some of our big touchdowns against TCU, running that up tempo, running quickly, they weren't able to get in position quick enough, or they don't have enough time to make sure that they're communicating properly. That leads to broken coverages, which leads to points. But you see, Tulane kind of catches them off guard here a little bit with these guys motioning out. And this is a really good play by their running back, Tajay Spears. Again, they're able to bust open this hole, and he makes this guy miss here, and then is able to kind of take it for this big gain. So incorporating some of the motion could help us get into more favorable looks for the defense with certain runs, certain angles. Uh, that would help us in establishing a run game for like the first time this year. um, let's go back to some RPO stuff because I think like some of this is kind of interesting. All right, we got a 1st and 10 here. Again, running some more of that 11 personnel, the tight ends here on the right side. And again, bringing this guy in motion, USC linebackers already, shifting over, trying to communicate. They snap the ball as they're still repositioning. And this is a really cool read option play because they have to kind of they have to play this motion man, and it puts the defense, it really stresses the defense in an interesting position to where Michael Pratt is able to take this upfield. You'll see that, he kind of cut the wrong way, but you see this hole is just starting to really open up. And he kind of runs the wrong way. I think he probably got a little bit nervous about number 4 coming up here. So he tries to cut it back. But again, you could have done like maybe, a more athletic quarterback could do a little hezzy and then, cut back upfield. But still a positive play nonetheless. You just might have gotten closer to a first down rather than a 5-yard gain. But again, like we got a lot of speed to, kind of counteract this USC size on defense and, hopefully put them in some stressful positions. But again, like these guys are shifting as the snap is being made. They're isolating this edge guy right here. Pratt makes the right decision to sneak it. 79 just, guess, kind of got thrown off a little bit by my number 4. Maybe overran this block a little bit, which is why Pratt cut inside. But nonetheless, it shows an opportunity that, like, hey, we're running just a few of these with Shador. Again, we don't really want to put his body at risk, and it would be advantageous for him to slide down, even if it's not for a super long gain. We got to protect him, but again, showing a little threat with the ability to run from the quarterback position, I think could do us a lot of favors. All right, let's go to 18-minute mark. This is another one that I had. All right. Oh yeah, this run is awesome. I can't remember if there was motion in this one. We'll have to see. So we got some 10 personnel. Maybe that's a tight end, but kind of showing a four wide receiver look. And no motion here, but again, running this read option, quarterback reading this edge guy, hands it off to Spears. And this is something that I want to highlight in hoping that we can kind of see Alton McCaskill do, moving forward in the season, where you're given a hole, you're given an opportunity, but again, his elite athleticism and playmaking ability, such as Tajay Spears showcases right here, can kind of turn that into a larger gaining play for us. And again, the little nuances with his footwork here, being able to break this tackle off the line. Then yeah, he doesn't stiff arm, but he breaks this tackle from the linebacker and then is able to get in the end zone. Just a really impressive run by Tajay Spears. But, Alt McCaskill's a bigger running back as well that showcases great balance and speed. And, you would like to see McCaskill have some success running as well. Again, this isn't like he's not running through a hole that's, 10 yards wide or anything like that. But with this little hesitation here, he's able to create some more space and then has the strength, to break these tackles and get all the way into the end zone. I mean, that was a really impressive run from Tajay Spears. Let's see. 1941 was another one that I had marked. We'll see what this one was. Oh yeah, this is a really cool play. We saw Oregon run a lot of this against us. Yet on Saturday, and again, just even using Shador a little bit as a threat in the run game could actually help us establish a run game. So check this out again. USC right before the snap, they're switching again their alignment. They're on the line. They identify something. All right, we're gonna go ahead. They snap that thing, um, and with this safety kind of moving over here, they definitely have a numbers advantage. So watch this. Michael Pratt, he doesn't even set up a big time run play. He just gives the quick hesitation to kind of freeze this edge guy right here. This guy's dropping back a little bit, but you see it's just a little halfback pitch. Then you got this wide receiver, that could be Javon Antonio for us or Mikey Harrison at the tight end position. You can get one of those guys as a lead blocker, for Spears, and all he has to do, is make a guy miss. Or for McCaskill, all he has to do is make a guy miss, and then you get a big gain. But at the end of the day, you're still getting 3 or 4 yards from this play. And I mean, that is just the baseline of what we need to keep the defenses that we're facing honest, just a little bit. So let's take another look here. And just like a step and a half or so, he's able to pitch that out. Maybe you could have, asked for the wide receiver to stick with this guy, but I don't really know what the assignment was. But still, 3 4 yard gain right there. Nothing spectacular, but it's helpful in the long run. You know what I'm saying? And it would be nice to see a little bit of more creativity. All right, 22:55. Take a look here. 1st and 10, ball on the 35. Okay, so we got 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. Got Tajay Spears in the back, couple wide receivers out left. Again, using motion to find the favorable matchup with the numbers. If I remember this play correctly. This might have been a play action. No, he hands it off to Spears. And again, this is a really nice play from him here, where he's able to bounce off a guy and then just playmaking ability. Good Lord. We'll take another look at this. Sorry, I forgot which play this was. Really impressive play. But you see, they're getting a certain look that they want. You know what? Let's go ahead and bring this tight end over. So you got, I mean, four guys to the right of the center, three guys to block. And I mean, USC puts themselves even out more out of position with this play. So again, I think like this stuff is beyond my expertise, obviously, but I would imagine that the Tulane coaching staff understood that, hey, using motion in certain ways, moving into a different package is going to get a certain look or front from the defense that then they can take advantage of. And you see right here with running this read option, gives the ball off to Spears just in time. And again, this linebacker right here has the opportunity to make this tackle, kind of going nowhere. But, Spears, I mean, he just shows a great ability to dodge right there. And then, I mean, takes it almost to the house, but showing the ability to even just putting the USC defense to make an open field tackle. This team is not as good open field. I mean, you just saw their issues that they had with that, 5'8" running back from Arizona State this past week. Scattaboo. I mean, he was just breaking tackles, all over the place, looking like Marshawn Lynch out there. It's, so it's almost like Spears kind of sets him up here, which is kind of interesting, and then is able to just bounce that out back. That was a pretty cool play. But again, if you're just typing in or hopping in, sorry, if you're just hopping in, I want to remind you that Tulane's offensive line, it wasn't a bigger line than what we have. Of course, their left guard, is a substantially bigger 345 pounds. That's bigger than anybody that we have on our line. But the rest of the guys, man, they weigh less than the other guys that we got outside of Jack Bailey, who is our left guard. So I think there is opportunity. Even with USC playing with some bigger guys, I don't think they're as fast as Oregon, and I think that was really what created a lot of issues for us on our line, just their speed and their twitchiness. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one that I picked. 25-30. Again, look, notice how that defensive front shifts a bunch. You will notice that. And then based off of how they shift, look at what we do. We put Spears in motion a little bit, bring him over to the other side. And then we run a run play to the right of the defense where there's less numbers. And all he needed to do was get through that hole, and then he's gone. Again, look, they shift. He's like, okay, they're shifting over here. We're just going to go ahead and shift this way and then just kind of run a little counter. A little hop step, a little hesitation, and then boom, hits it. But yeah, those are some little things that I think, we might see from CU is just this isn't complicated stuff. It's just going where the numbers are telling you where there's an advantage. Look, these guys shift over here. I mean, look at that. Okay, we know what we're going to do now. Great block here by the left guard, and that's able to cause some issues for number 9, who's kind of that free roamer right now. Again, he can't see Spears here. That I remember now. This play, I was wondering what the heck is 9 doing right here, man? Because he just goes absolutely the wrong direction and big gain. Boom. But again, this stuff, it's easy for me, doing this from my bedroom to be telling this linebacker, hey, you went to the wrong hole, obviously. But way easier said than done, especially when you got a bunch of 300-pound guys in front of your face. But I will say, I think USC's defensive line has improved. Again, they got a guy like Bear Alexander coming there from Georgia who had some big plays in their game this past week that I saw. But we'll get to another one here real quick. Let's look at 15-22. I just got a couple more left for you guys, so thank you so much for your patience. 2nd and 10. Some more 11 personnel. Tight end here on the right side. Bringing in some motion. And you already see that safety starting to run up. Everybody's thinking run. Everybody. Especially because you brought that guy in motion. Everybody's. But they bite on it, man. And again, this would be something that we could run for like Mikey Harrison. We kind of saw something similar to this in some sense with, his touchdown against Oregon, kind of getting the whole defense to go on one side. But again, numbers, getting the numbers in front of you. Tight end has plenty of room to run, big gainer. And we'll take another look at that. Again, see this 4, 2, 5. A shift. Okay. We're not too worried about that. Look, this motion is already bringing this fella here out of position of where the play is actually going to be run. Again, they can do this because they've worked to establish a run game throughout the game. And they know Tajay Spears is a freaking NFL back. We got some NFL backs too. It's time that we rely on them a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? We have to. We have to. And this is just a great fake. And just perfect release here from the offensive lineman and the tight end. 31 just notices way too late. And boom. So, and I think I might just have one more. We'll go with freaking 1406. I forget which one this was. I think it was another play to the running back. So again, they're bringing this guy in motion before the snap. It's getting the defense to shift, my guess, into a look that they're wanting. Takes the handoff. Everybody's kind of committing to this wide receiver that was motioning. Ah, yes, I remember this now. And then you have this matchup. Seeing like, okay, who is covering Spears? Who is covering, for instance, Dylan Edwards, right? You got this linebacker that's moving with this wide receiver out here. So you see Pratt identifies, oh man, we got a linebacker here on my stud running back all day. Now imagine somebody like Dylan Edwards, man, who's got that 4.3 speed. Linebacker does a really good job of kind of getting back, making this play a little tough. It's a tough throw to make because you kind of have to layer it in over the top, but it has to be done with enough, velocity to get there quickly. But Spears almost catches it. But you could see, like, if you're able to just hit that a little bit more smoothly, that could be a big play. But again, it starts with running these guys in motion, getting to me, it kind of comes off as like USC plays a very like ultra aggressive defense. And sometimes, that really backfires on them because it gets them kind of out of position because they're shifting so much. Yeah, you can just kind of see how they're all committing until it's just a little too late. 53 does a good job of getting back, getting his hand up there. He might have tipped that. I'm not sure. Um, but all that to say, everybody, is that this can kind of show you of what these little things, like even just running a guy in motion, um, or depending on where USC kind of jumps into before the snap, just doing a simple thing of bringing your running back on the strong side to just create some more deception for a play that then runs back towards the numbers. I think that again, some of this stuff is beyond my expertise, but this is kind of what I theorize Tulane was able to take advantage of was, getting them to shift into some more favorable looks right before the snap, using that motion against them to understand where you're going to go with the ball. And yeah, putting the USC defense on their heels a little bit, making them make tackles. This defense, I think, is a little bit improved from last year. But again, I just don't think Alex Grinch does them any favors. It seems like they're always shifting so much. I mean, you can go look at it against Arizona State, even watching like the condensed games and stuff like that. They are jumping all over the place right before the snap. They're moving, and I can see like how that can develop into a defense that is really hard to stop. But I don't know, man. It just seems like too much sometimes. I'm interested to see what the USC fans, if they're still in here, kind of what they're thinking, of Alex Grinch and his defense. But overall, USC's got some really good athletes, and it's about I think for us to have success in order to keep up with USC and hopefully get that upset win, we have to be putting their athletes in less favorable spaces to make open field tackles. I mean, this isn't anything new or genius or rocket science, but it's about calling the right plays to do it and then executing that. So, with that being said, I'll get to a few comments here. I really appreciate everybody's time, and y'all are cracking me up, man. Rawhide Media, thank you so much. I need to connect with you, man. There are a lot of people I need to reach out to. I appreciate uh, the kind words. Kanita, hey David and friends, thanks so much for tuning in. Fight on Trojans, man. 66-17, man. I'm gonna bookmark it. I'm gonna hold you to it. We'll just have to see. Hopefully, we can attack the USC defense with a little bit more creativity than we did against the Ducks. But again, I am not on staff, and pretty much any level of football team would be wise to make sure I am not coaching and calling up the plays. But I'm just trying to show, some things that possibly could be on our offensive coaches' minds as we prepare for this week on Saturday. 1-16, baby. Greg said it. The answer is getting Shador running, period. He's getting hit either way, one way or another. This is a great point. When we're playing 2 1-dimensional, he's getting his, body rocked anyways. So we might as well use him a little bit in the run game to just keep the defense honest just a little bit. Little Jack, do you think Cormani will get in? He should, absolutely. And he provides, again, some great range, at corner. He's lengthy. He's tall. He's got enough size. I mean, if we're asking Dylan Edwards right now at 170 pounds, be blocking these linebackers, man. We saw that Cormani's got the physicality to tackle. with that forced fumble he had last week and that fake punt that he tracked down. I would like to see more of him. I think we're a better defense with him on the field. Cheyenne, right? He needs to run a little bit, as in Shador. Maybe even run the pass like they used um, to Dion back in the day. Um, yes, yes, all of the above. I think the more ways that we can just creatively run, because I think like after this performance with our O line against Oregon, like it was definitely the worst, and we're like, what the heck? But it was just a bad matchup. Like TCU. Um, they're a good team. The Nebraska front, like we pass blocked really well against them. Um, but the last couple weeks we've kind of seen um, us kind of fall back a little bit when it comes to our pass protection. And I think that means some of that is due to the fact that we're just playing one dimensional. These guys on defense are just able to line up and go. Dan Lanning said it. They didn't even prepare for the run game because they didn't even think Colorado was going to try to establish anything. And they were totally right. Like we got out coached. And it's going to be up to our coaching staff, to put in a more creative game plan this time around, right? Rawhide Media, you're right. Go with the two-back set. Run from that formation. Motion out wide. Need some added protection. Yes, 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 yes. This is something that John Kay and I broke down a little bit this past week of like how we could use Dylan Edwards and Alt McCaskill in some two-back sets, depending on the look and the package. Motion Dylan out into the slot because we've seen him do that a ton in high school. We haven't really seen that done yet here at CU. I would love to see two back sets implemented this week. I was pissed that we didn't get to see any of it against Oregon. What the heck? Byron Gray, thanks for tuning in. Is this a Trojan sign? If so, all Trojans are welcome. This is all just good times here. TD, yes, on the defensive side, the real problem, we have to be prepared for their big time running backs, man. That's another episode this week. But yes, we have a big challenge up against us and going against the number one offense. They got some big boy running backs, that's for sure. They got some speed outside. They haven't really played the quick passing game. They go for these big chunk plays, man, and it's a beautiful thing. We'll see if they implement some more of that quick passing game, because if they do, it could get ugly if we're not making any of those adjustments. Want a beast? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit that like button, and we'll have you on the show. Thinking we can talk about maybe some ways that we can slow down this USC offense, because good Lord, man, we got a challenge ahead of us. Christopher coming in here. Coaches need to add bigger running backs to start. Dylan too small to block. Yes, and this is why we need to see Alt McCaskill back there more often. Have Dylan spell him or come in for these two back sets. Coach G, good to see you. O-line is awful. They have played awful. They're better than what they've shown. Now, I will say, I do wonder at the guard position, because we got some guys like Jeremiah McCrinnon, like Kareem. Why am I forgetting his name? I just mentioned him to Bird earlier today. Kareem Harden. That's right. We got some big boys on the offensive line that right now weigh like 20 to 30 pounds more than our current starting left guard. I think maybe we thought that, having some lighter guys out there might be able to, we're out there to pull, we're out there to, it might help us with pass protection with guys like, being quicker, with Oregon being so quick. Obviously that didn't work. I would like to see some of these big boys that we brought in get a look here at some point with our offensive line struggling. But again, we do them no favors. We do them no favors if we're calling a one-dimensional game. That is for sure. And then we're having a 170-pound back there, 180 pounds back there, expecting to pass protect consistently. And that's a great point, Alexis. I would love to see Bishop Thomas in there more as that lead fullback. I mean, we saw how great that was with him helping block for, I think it was Sy'veon Wilkerson with his goal line touchdown against TCU. Let's bring in some more size. I would love to see a commitment to being more physical. Absolutely. That would be awesome. Heinz Barron. Buff should use deception and misdirection like ASU did, running plays from a passing look, etc. Keep Shador from dropping back and taking hit after hit. Yes, 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 yes. Amen, amen, amen. You're totally right about that. And again, having this threat of this run game, just committing to it, even if it's 3 or 4 yards, getting Shador a 2nd and 6 is so much more advantageous than getting a 2nd and 10 or a 2nd and 15, 2nd and 17, because he's had to work from such long distances. And it, using some of this misdirection like we showed with tight end play, we need a run game. That is the number one goal. We need a run game. And we can do it. We can do it. These guys have it in them. But again, we're not doing our offensive line any favors with not even giving them. It's like we haven't even had like a philosophy or an emphasis on doing it. And the more you put in it, because they got the size, man. They got the strength. Like they have enough size to do this. If Tulane is doing it, we can do it. If Arizona State is doing it, we can do it. Their line isn't any bigger than what we have. Coach Shee, David, Sean Lewis calls the same standard plays. He is not running trick plays or anything. He seemed to get caught up in being out coached. I love Coach Prime and CU. Motion Dillon to the 2-back set. Oh, man. I wish I could put some money on seeing the 2-back set this week. You're absolutely right. We have called the vanilla basic look, and we have not done our team any favors. And we've seen the one dimension look with our offense has, given the defense greater advantages. Tremaine Young, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate the support. I'll go with a couple more comments here. I'm going to take a quick break before I have Colin Moore from Life and Football on here in 30 minutes. Cheyenne, we should all fast and pray Friday to Saturday. Oh man, we need all the prayers we can get. We gotta come in here playing healthy. We gotta play smart, physical, disciplined. No penalties. Minimize those penalties, man. We had 12 this past week. The good news is that there's a large opportunity to show improvement this week. And being at home, I think we will play better. Eugene is a hard place to play in. And Alexis, you bring up an interesting point. Stop changing the lineups on defense so much. Let the ones gel. Yeah, I'm with you. It's been tough with the injuries because we've kind of been forced to in some ways. But it'll be interesting to see if Slusher can play this week. Both him and Cameron Stillman Craig, I wouldn't mind seeing on the field more. What's the chance of us getting Cliff Kingsbury next year as offensive coordinator? I would say pretty close to zero. I'm not calling for anybody's jobs. I think Sean Lewis will get this together, man. I think he will. And maybe I pull up some Kent State tape to kind of show you what he's run. Because, again, I think we got the personnel to run some of the other stuff that he's run at Kent State that we haven't seen yet. So just a little bit confused of why we haven't seen that. I think something really disastrous might have to, occur for, or like if he's just so good and leaves for a head coaching position. But I think this 2-year plan, that's everything that I kind of hear. I think most people players and coaches are going to be sticking around through next year, and really give this team its best shot of, reaching its peak potential. That's for sure. What is up with Jack Bailey, who's on the left side? Yeah, he's the left guard. Coach O'Boyle, let's go, Coach. My God, yeah. Again, Jack Bailey, he's been one of those guys that I think is just a little too undersized right now for the level that we're playing at. He's 285 pounds. Again, a lot of people. I'm not gonna say I told you so, but a lot of people came in here, said that he was a shoo-in starter, and he was, like, y'all are right, but he's just a little too light. I would like to see more Jack Wiltie in there. Jack Wiltie did a great job against TCU, man, helping spring open some of those big time screen plays. And I think he's got a little bit more size, if I'm not mistaken, than Jack Bailey. But I mean, yeah, it was. It's been rough going for the interior line. It's nice that we have Van Wells back, but we're gonna need to see an improvement this week. We need to, and give them time to gel. But at the same time, I think we got some stronger guys that we could possibly put in there and see how they do. But yeah, the Tyler Brown, man, that is, it's just a massive loss, because that's who should have been starting at left guard. That's for sure. And Tremaine, you said it right. Yeah, Jack Bailey has good technique, but he is 30 pounds too light. Yeah, we can't have it. And I think he is by far our lightest offensive lineman that we have, maybe outside of Zelinskis, our true freshman. So we got some JUCO dogs, man, that I would like to see get some time. So we'll just have to see. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate the time. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, trying to do this more with the all 22 that I got. So nothing current from this year, but when it's relevant, I will try and pull some stuff, from the past, and maybe we'll take another look, like I said, about, Kent State, some stuff that they've run in the past. But you guys are right. Motion and misdirection. Let's get this defense shifting into advantageous positions for us. So anyways, guys, I really appreciate it. You guys tuning in, and I'll be back here in 27 minutes to talk with Colin. And man, this week's going to be awesome. On to 1-16, baby. We're going to do it. Until next time, Go Buffs.